Along the Edge. Start. Along the Edge is an interactive graphic novel. During your adventure, you will be asked to make choices that will define how your story progresses. Some of these choices will have direct consequences, forking the story in one direction instead of another. However, each of your decisions, even the most insignificant, will have an impact on the personality of the main character, Daphne. Oh no. We've already lost the game. I'm so bad at these kind of games. Yep, next. When one of your decisions influence Daphne's personality, one or two symbols light up at the top of the screen. We have the star, the globe, the sun, or the moon. Okay. In Along the Edge, your decisions are neither good nor bad. However, the sum of your choices always lead to different scenarios. It's impossible to lose in Along the Edge. The branching of the story opens different narrative hypotheses, shaping your adventure according to your choices. Okay, so we can't lose, you guys. That's good. Your progress is saved automatically. You won't be able to change the decisions you made. Oh, frick. Choose wisely? Dang it. Dr. Durant. So, you're determined then? Yes. I think I need a fresh start. This inheritance. It's the perfect opportunity to finally turn the page. I know you've convinced yourself of that, but are you sure you really know what you wish to achieve with this move? After all, you recently went through a major trauma, and there's still a lot of ground to cover. Between you and me, you know what I think of your decision, but I can't prevent you from leaving. Have you found a job there yet? Yes, I have. Substituting for a math teacher at the village middle school. A maternity leave. 6 months. That should give me enough time to get my bearings. Don't you mind giving up your PhD? Your research career was quite promising. Oh, here we go. Giving up my PhD. No regrets. We're going all in. Carpe diem. No, honestly, I don't much like being alone in the lab all day long. It will be good to be with other people, for a change. I see. One last thing. I know your relationship with Frank is quite tense. It is. You know, the breakup's still recent, and I always counted on his support. After so many years together, I need time. I suppose you're aware that you're about to break your all ties with him. Probably for good. Are you sure you won't regret it later? Did you at least inform him of your plans? It's not of his business anymore. Oh, we got the moon. No, I didn't. And it doesn't concern him anymore. Did we get sweaty? What happened? All right. Listen, Daphne, you got my number. Please, don't be afraid to call me if you feel the need. I'm counting on you. Okay, I will. Then I suppose all I can do is wish you the best. When are you leaving? tomorrow. Chapter 1. August. I'm leaving tomorrow. I've inherited the family house, my grandmother's. I didn't know her, and now I never will. My mother had cut all ties with that side of the family, the only side, since I never knew who my father was. I remember the birthday cards, though. My mother had hidden them between two piles of laundry in the linen closet. If the bond was broken, it wasn't my grandmother's fault. And here I am, 10 years later, inheriting a big house 300 miles away, when I too have severed all contact with my own mother. That's what they call karma, isn't it? The other PhD students asked me to meet them at the bar. I could also go see Frank to say goodbye. I told Dr. Durant that I didn't want to tell him I was leaving, but this is my last chance to do things right. Am I really sure of my choice? Of course, I could also just go home. What should I do? Oh man. So Frank, was that my ex? Go to the bar to see my friends, or you simply go home? I think it's a good idea if we just cut all ties with our, ex. The sooner, the better, right? We leave that life behind us so we can focus on the future. Let's go to the bar and do a last hurrah with our friends. I went to the bar to meet the other students. I didn't have the heart to refuse. I'm never really fitted in with this small group. In fact, they only really think about their own academic success. I know I'll miss my research, but on the other hand, I never saw myself having a brilliant career. Despite their cool, laid-back appearance, they would slaughter each other for an article in Nature, probably without even batting an eyelid. I've never really belonged in this environment. I only wanted to advance science, to do my bit for the future. It sounds like a cliche, but it's the truth. Science will have to make do with me, and I don't think you'll be missing out on much. I thought they wanted to surprise me, to throw me a leaving party. Then again, I haven't told anybody, except for my research supervisor. He seemed a bit stunned at first, and then not too bothered. I should go. I've got a long drive tomorrow. That's it. Everything I own is packed in a couple of boxes. I wish I felt sad about leaving, but actually, I don't really care. My last night here. I don't know what I hope to find there. A fresh start? That's what I'm trying to convince myself. Perhaps Dr. Durant is right. Maybe I'm just avoiding the real issue. Did my mother feel the same when she left my grandmother's village 30 years ago? Am I following in her footsteps despite myself? The difference is that she had me. Me. I'm alone. I'm overthinking this. I've taken my decision. I can't afford to go back. I can't undo what I've done. I'll try to get some sleep. "300 miles. I got up way too early. It's going to be a long journey. Little by little, civilization slowly gives away to empty spaces. The highway is replaced by interlacing small roads, and the clear directions giving on the major routes become a hit and miss search for clues, which gets more and more arduous as I near my destination. The road goes through the village, which I cross in a few moments. I thought I was getting away from the agitation of the city, but all this peace and serenity feels like it's hiding something sinister. Almost ominous. After a couple of miles, I turn onto a dirt track, overrun with weeds. I go through the gates marking the limits of the family domain. Then, on the right, I see a small stone house. That must be the lodge where the wardens, a couple, live. It was specified in the estate accounts and the notary made me sign. I decide to leave the car there. I don't feel like driving all the way back in reverse if the track turns out to be a dead end. Walking a bit further, I see a man coming toward me. He's carrying a rifle and holds a dead rabbit by the ears.
"Hello, miss. You're on private property. Did you take the wrong turn?"
Apologize. I'm sorry, I must be lost. I'll turn around.
"Wait. Are you Miss de la Tour, by any chance?"
Yes, I am. How did you guess?
"You're the spitting image of your grandmother. Well, when she was young, I mean." "I am Gerard Bertin, the warden. Nobody told me you were coming."
Is the house open?
"No. Well, yes. It's been a couple of months now since Miss de la Tour passed away. My wife, Gilbert."
Gilbert?
"And we made sure everything's weatherproofed, but the door isn't locked."
Really?
"Well, the only path goes past our house, and there aren't many visitors anyway. The villagers usually avoid coming up here, you know."
Why? Oh, we got the sun. Why do they avoid the house?
"People got worked up over nothing around here. An old lady living alone in a big house. Who doesn't go out much. That's enough to make them talk."
Thank you. I'll be in the house if you're looking for me.
"I'll send you my wife, Gilbert. She'll help you open the shutters. Just follow the path, it's not far and you can't get lost."
All right. Goodbye, Mr. Bertin. Have a nice day. About 100 yards further on, the path in the woods ends, and I see the house, standing in kind of a clearing. You think that was Grandma's fling? Maybe. Although several generations of Delatours have lived here, for me, this is the first time I've seen the estate. Doofus. The building is impressive, with the tower at the center of the facade, the last vestige of an earlier castle and surely the origin of my family name. As promised, the door is not locked and opens onto an entrance hall, plunged in darkness. As I cross the threshold, The chill of old stone strikes me, slicing through the searing heat of the midday sun shining over the garden. Despite the gloom, I can make out the edges of the room, intimidating in its vastness, which makes a change from the tiny city apartments I'm used to. I'm struggling to open one of the windows to let the light in when a voice from the entrance startles me.
Miss?
An old woman stands at the threshold. Yes?
My husband told me you were coming to the house. Are you planning to stay for the night?
Much more than the night. I'm moving in. Oh, and please, call me Daphne. I'll get more than enough miss when I start work at the school. Did they tell you about the succession?
So you're Madam's granddaughter then. She used to talk about you a lot, you know. I remember you. Well, I mean, it was a long time ago. You were still a baby when Miss Sophie left. Madam never got over it.
Well, I'm sure you got a lot to tell me. But can you do it while you help me open the shutters?
Oh, of course, I'm sorry. So you're moving into the castle. You're going to work in the village school, aren't you?
Yes, I'm a math teacher. I'm going to teach there. Well, at least for the next 6 months, as a substitute. So, tell me, how do you want to do this? I mean, I know you've been working for my grandmother, but I'm not sure I can afford your services, if you see what I mean. The inheritance barely left me enough to cover the cost of the house for a couple of years.
Oh, don't you worry. Gerard and I retired 2 years ago. But Madame didn't forget us in her will. She was kind enough to leave us the lodge to live out our days. We'll help for as long as we're able, my husband and I. We've done this all our life. Hard work doesn't scare us. Anyway, we'd be bored with nothing to do all day.
Oh, but I can't ask you to work for free. Son, but, I can't ask you to work for free.
It's not a job as such, just a way to keep us busy. And we'd like to do it, miss. Would you like me to get you some groceries from the market tomorrow? I used to do it for Madame. She didn't go out much, not after Miss Sophie left.
No, don't worry, I'll go. It'll give me a chance to check the village out. Miss Bortine helps me put clean sheets on my bed. The windows, now wide open, let out musty air while ushering in the golden light of the summer evening's setting sun. And then she leaves me alone for my first night in my new home. I spend the evening watching the antique television in the kitchen while eating a leftover sandwich I bought earlier on the highway. I try to sleep, far from the reassuring sounds of the cars and the lights of the city, the forest silence only broken by the unsettling squeak of floorboards and the hoots of a hunting owl. I'm predictably grouchy the next morning, and if the sight of the empty fridge hadn't driven me to action, I would have succumbed to the inviting comfort of the sofa and wasted my day napping in the living room. The market. It wasn't exactly what I'd imagined. We all have romantic notions of picturesque little country markets, but this one was purely functional. Nothing romantic about the butcher's stall, nor the fishmonger's radio. Tuned in, far too loud, to a local station that seems to broadcast, at this hour of the day, a playlist of songs that used to be popular, but are now utterly outdated. I'm buying some bread when someone barges in front of me.
Give me 3 baguettes and 2 loaves of nut bread, sliced, please.
Oh, he looks like a douchebag. I'm sorry, but I believe it was my turn.
This will only take an instant. Don't worry.
Keep calm, rat. Okay, don't go berserk. You know what? I'm getting worked up. I'm pissed. Listen, I'm new to this village. We have to let the bullies know right off the bat we are not to be messed with, okay? I'm getting worked up. We got the moon. Who do you think you are? You're not from around here, are you? What does that have to do with anything? Listen, miss, you really ought to educate yourself before you start making a scene. It's kind of embarrassing. See? I'm done already. It didn't take that long, did it? Have a nice day. Oh, I hope we can punch him in the face. The man slips a bill into the baker's hand before disappearing down the street. Seriously, who was that guy?
You're not from around.
No, that's not too old.
You're not from around here, are you? He's Maltery's son. His family owns the sawmill that employs half the town. And the other half are all in business with him, one way or another.
Does that give him the right to behave like that?
You shouldn't cross the Maltese, you know. They've been in town for generations and people say all sort of things about them.
What kind of things?
Strange accidents. Businesses suddenly going bankrupt. People are pretty superstitious here.
Really? Well, this is the countryside. I suppose a lot of people here still believe in that kind of stuff.
People are free to think what they like. I'm leaving the area soon, so you'll understand I don't want to get involved. The others told me to watch out for that family, and I don't want any trouble.
I see. I realize I've already been here a few days, and I haven't taken the time to visit the house properly yet. With my busy schedule, I've confined myself to the main rooms, going from the bedroom to the kitchen or the living room. I ought to take advantage of the weekend to give myself the grand tour. Maybe I'll learn more about my grandmother and this family that I know so little about. I could try asking Miss Bortine a few questions too. Up till now, she's been very evasive. If I go see her outside her work hours, she might be more inclined to answer me. She's a very discreet woman. Somehow she manages to never be in the same room as me. If I leave the kitchen for a while, to take a shower for example, when I come back I always find the debris from my breakfast has been cleared away. The table has been wiped and the dishwasher is gently humming. I've told her several times not to make my bed, that I'm perfectly capable of doing it myself. She acknowledges me, but keeps on making it anyway. I guess she might enjoy a friendly visit. Where should I start? Let's see if we can get the questions out first. Or should we take a look around first? Let's go with the questions. Good morning, Miss Bertine. How are you doing?
Oh, hello, Miss Daphne. My joints ache a bit today. It must be colder weather. Summer always goes so fast.
It's almost fall already, can you believe it?
But that's enough about me.
You haven't come around here to listen to an old woman complaining about her aches and pains. How can I help you, miss? See you later. Tell me what it was like in the old days. Before my mom left, I mean. The end was already in sight when your mother left, if I may say so, miss. There were only your grandmother, Madame Adelaide, and Miss Sophie living here. Your grandfather died when your mother was still a little girl. An illness that took him without warning. The doctors couldn't do anything for the poor man. But back when I arrived here, things were different. There were lots of people living in the castle. Cousins, uncles, aunts, and a whole gaggle of children. So what happened? I don't really know. It just happened. There were unexplained deaths, accidents. Some of them left the area, and we never heard from them again. Everything started to go downhill when the Maltese bought the sawmill. Oh. So that family is kinda sussy, huh? There must be a connection. It seems crazy, but there must be a connection, don't you think? It can't be a coincidence, can it?
I couldn't say, miss. All I know is that when the Maltese flourish, the Delators wither.
Oh, that's me. I met Maltere's son at the bakery.
That lout? It's none of my business, of course, but you should be careful of him. He's a good-for-nothing who spends his time doing goodness knows what in his car.
You know what? I agree with you. I met him for 2 minutes and I hate him. Oh, the moon. Dude, I'm starting to think that moon is bad and sun is good. You're right. He acted like a jerk with me.
Ah, you see? Exactly my point. Now, while we're talking about the past, maybe you would like to see the old photo albums.
Absolutely. Tell me where they are and I'll take a look at them. Thanks.
They're in the cupboard. In the living room, you'll see. There are even some of your great-grandfather's old photos.
Something else? See you later. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. I'll come back later. What should I do next? Oh. Do we look at the photo albums? Let's. I found the photos where Mrs. Bertine had told me they would be, and I discovered that my great-grandfather had had an early passion for the dark room, and that his photographs from the last century had survived time. The family was larger then, with a swarm of children in the gardens and large tables at the holiday gatherings. True, Dia. Actually, if worry could be read on the faces of the adults, if the future ruin and dereliction of House Delator could already crack the walls and yellow the wallpaper, it didn't show in these old daguerreotypes. I found a couple of pictures of my mother. First as a child, then as a young girl. The discovery of this treasure moved me. I had never before seen what she looked like when she was younger. The final pictures show her belly getting rounder and rounder. And then, nothing. No more photos. As if nothing worth documenting had happened during the last 30 years. Wow. Let's go and check the tower. I couldn't find the entrance to the tower. I searched inside and outside the house, but no door seems to lead into it. After randomly exploring the corridors and the rooms, I had to admit defeat. I'll have to ask Mrs. Bortine about this mystery. However, while I was searching for the dang entrance, my feet took me down to the basement, where I discovered a treasure trove of old wines. Sip sip. Vape. Thank you, Dia. Rest well. The most recent bottles were around 30 years old. I guess my grandmother wasn't much of a drinker, and the wine cellar must have remained untouched since her husband passed away. Did my mother come here during her teen years, defying her parents' rules to steal a bottle to share with her friends from the village? Was I conceived during one of those parties, celebrated by sacrificing these rare vintages on the altar of youth, with my mother, Sophie, not sober enough to resist the charms of some local young farmer? Wow. When I was old enough to ask her, she always told me, with a dismissive wave of her hand, that my father was from the village and hadn't wanted to recognize a child he hadn't asked for. All in all, she said we were better off without him. Holy. I hope we can find him and punch him in the face. Maybe I could bring a bottle to Mrs. Bortine. Take a bottle. Mood? Oh, Frey, dude, we are getting the bad ending. As I take a bottle from its shelf to decipher its dusty label, it slips from my hands and smashes on the ground. Rat, you're the worst. Why are you so clumsy? Suddenly, I am overwhelmed by the feeling, as though I was violating something sacred, trampling the memory of my grandfather, who might have selected this precise vintage to celebrate something special. I begin to question my intentions. Am I offering this bottle as an honest mark of affection toward a kind old lady? Or am I planning to get Mrs. Bortine drunk so that I can extract information from her? Okay, that didn't even cross my mind. I was thinking a kind gesture. What is going on? No, I'm taking another bottle. Listen, we are too invested in this now. We can't just smash a wine bottle and then leave. and get nothing out? No, we're taking another one. Yeah, give me the moon. A white bourgogne. She should like it. And anyway, I don't have to drink myself into a stupor with Mrs. Portine. I'm sure I can drink responsibly. What should I do next? A bottle of wine as a small gift is perfectly acceptable gesture to someone you just met. Exactly, thank you. Let's go and check out my mother's old bedroom. My grandmother lived alone in this big house, so she kept most of the rooms shut and just stayed on the ground floor, on the left side of the building. I have taken over her living quarters, and with the nights getting colder, I'm glad I don't have to keep the whole house warm. I look over the other rooms, the parlors, on the ground floor and the multiple bedrooms above. Everything seems frozen in time. The furniture is covered with white linen sheets, perhaps waiting for better days to return. Like the days before Adelaide was a widow, when my mother still lived under her roof. Her old bedroom hasn't changed. It's still the room of a teenage girl. Even I can see that someone had hastily made room for me, the baby about to be born. There are still band posters from another age pinned to the walls, and the crib where I might have spent my first few nights before my mother decided to leave. But there aren't any white linen sheets to protect the furniture in this room, and it looks as though it has been cleaned up very recently. Dang. Let's go back to Mrs. Bortine and ask her a few questions and give her the wine. Something else? Okay, so if we happen to get a benefit of she getting tipsy, we should start by giving her a bottle and then ask questions. I brought you a bottle. Okay, we keep getting the dark, dude. I'm messing up. I found this bottle in the cellar. Would you join me for a glass? Oh, I'm not sure it's very wise, miss. Please, I insist. It would be my pleasure. You wouldn't make me drink alone, would you? Well, all right, if you insist. But just a small glass for me. Something else? How about another drink? No, we can't push it. We can't push it. What if she's like anonymous alcoholic or something and we just keep making her drink? Now I feel bad. Let's ask about the bedroom. I have visited the house, got into every room, and I noticed all the furniture has been covered with white linen sheets. Yes, it was Madam's, your grandmother, who asked me to close most of the rooms. She lived alone in the house, and she never had any visitors. It was to prevent the furniture from being damaged. I'm trying to chill here. You can't use randomly start making panic sounds. Oh, frick. My bad. Shh. Why are you asking? Do you want me to open up the rest of the house? Well, that's a good idea. It's a bit of extra work for you, but it would certainly improve my quality of life. One of the rooms. I'm guessing it was my mother's old bedroom. Why wasn't it closed like the others? It was what Madame wanted. You know, when Miss Sophie left, it broke her heart. She was never the same afterwards, until the day she died. She never gave up hope that your mother would come back. She asked me to make up her room every day, just in case, she'd say. She would have been delighted to meet you. Such a pretty young lady as you are. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Must be the little pick-me-up you brought me. Something else? About the tower. I couldn't find the entrance of the tower. Do you know how to get inside? Well, I couldn't say, miss. No, I couldn't tell you how to get in if my life depended on it. Madame, your grandmother said that it had been walled up and that we were better off not knowing what was inside. Dang. Do you mean that no one's been inside the tower for 30 years? 40? Goodness me, much more than that. I'm 67. I've been living here since I was 14. And the tower's always been that way. So nobody knows what's in the tower. But surely you must have some idea, don't you? You've been listening to the stories those idiots in the village tell. Witchcraft and such like. Don't you listen to them. Your grandmother was a great woman. A great woman. Do you hear me? What do you mean? What stories of witchcraft? Oh, dearie me. I'm running my mouth off, as they say. It's the wine talking. But I've already said too much. Please, let's just forget it. The conversation with Mrs. Bertina aroused my curiosity. The tower, the village, the Maltese. And I would thought my relocation would lead to a life of austerity and isolation. I have to admit that what's going on in the village is far more intriguing than I'd anticipated. Unfortunately, the realities of everyday life catch up with me before I have the time to look into it. I'm obliged to spend the last days of August preparing for my classes at the middle school, and I hadn't realized how much work that would involve. So I spend most of my time shut up in the house, buried in the textbooks for all the new classes I've been given. Then, the first day of school arrived, and despite a few difficulties, after a couple of weeks, I began to get my bearings at the school. Life fell into a routine. The days pass by like trains. Chapter 2. September. I've decided to take advantage of the weekend and go back to the market. I'm sure someone will finally agree to tell me more than the tidbits I managed to gather up to now. Especially about the Maltier family, who seems to fascinate half the village and terrify the other half. I should start with the baker. If she hasn't finished her season already, she can't be far off. She wouldn't be taking much of a risk sharing some gossip with me, seeing as she's leaving until next summer. I see Gerard Bertin on the other side of the square. He is talking to someone, a tall man with a self-possessed air. I could go over so that he has to introduce me, but the bakery is about to close, and I might not get another chance to question Miss Bouchard. What should I do? We go to the bakery. Yeah, we need the deets. Hello, Mrs. Bouchard. Oh, hello, miss. You're in luck. I was just about to close. Are you finishing the season soon? Yes, I am. We ran a bit more into September than we planned, but that's it. We're calling it a day. 2 weeks vacation, then we're moving to the Alps. My husband and I. We're doing the ski season there. Oh, that will make a change. I'm glad to be leaving. The money's not bad, but I don't like the atmosphere around here. So, will it be one baguette, as usual? Yes, but I wanted to ask. Yes? What do you know about the Maltese? I told you I don't want to talk about them. I don't want any trouble. But you'll be leaving soon. Star, we got a star. I really need to know. Nobody wants to tell me anything, and seeing as you're leaving soon... You seem like a nice young lady, so listen to me carefully. She takes me by the arm, puts her face close to mine, and whispers. The Maltese, they're sorcerers. That's why they got the whole village under their thumb. If you do something they don't like, bad things happen. How do you think I got this place? Bakers don't take 3-month vacations. Mr. Blanchard, the owner of this shop, 3 months in the hospital, physio, the lot, the poor man. He fell down the stairs. The other shopkeepers, they told me he would had words with the mayor. With the mayor? Well, yes, Ives Maltier. He's the mayor of the village, didn't you know? No, I didn't. Apparently, they were talking one evening, some petty quarrel about the land register, a fence that wasn't at the right place or something. And then, bam! The next day, he falls down the stairs, just like that. Do you really believe all that? Well, I usually am a bit of a doubting Thomas. I only believe what I see. But you know, it's troubling. Oh, we cannot joke about it. She's gonna be pissed. Let's take it seriously. Star. Thank you for talking to me. I'll be discreet, don't worry. Well, now you know as much as I do. You be careful of them. I would hate it if it was my fault that something happened to you. Don't worry about me. Goodbye, Mrs. Bouchard. I glance around for Mr. Bortine and his mystery companion, but they're already gone. Too bad. I go round the shops, trying to find out about the Maltese as I buy fresh contents for my refrigerator. Unfortunately, now that I've been identified as the young heiress, their tongues are tied. The villagers have become surly, polite, yet distant. As I carry my groceries to the car, it begins to rain. And it doesn't stop for the whole weekend. and the beginning of the next week. I'm at school teaching geometry to my 6th grade class when nature finally intervenes to give the sun back. But the respite is short-lived when a bit later I discover a summons to the principal's office in my locker. Even though I'm now on the other side of the fence and I no longer risk a detention, I admit it worries me a little, adding a sense of menace to this otherwise radiant September day. When I venture into the principal's office, I discover Mr. ScatRatt, the principal, in a heated debate with someone who I guess is the irate mother of one of my pupils. Welcome back, Banshee. The poor man is ashen. He covers behind his desk, and he's so hunched up in his big leather chair, it's as if he's melting into the upholstery. Tuck, tuck. John Chest. Okay, that's the principal.
Please, Mrs. Luke, you must admit that your demands are most unusual, to say the least. Don't forget that Mr. Delatour is only here for 6 months. Everything will go back to normal when Mrs. Dupuy comes back. Ah, here she comes.
Mr. ScatRatt fixes me with an imploring gaze, as if I was his only hope of salvation. Did you want to see me?
Yes, please take a seat. Let me introduce you to Mrs. Levick, John Baptiste's mother, you know, one of your 6th grade students.
Speak to the principal. Just ignore her? Yeah. Yeah, we got the son. What's going on, Mr. ScatRatt?
Well, Mrs. Levick, perhaps you could explain in your own words.